Hi there, how are you all doing? Hope you're all keeping safe and well. Make sure you're washing your hands and practicing social distancing and basically staying at home, as they say. Stay home, stay safe, protect the NHS, and save lives. Very important right now. So I thought, there's been quite a few things that have been going on as far as the car industry is concerned. Not all bad, not all bad. So this is a bit more about what the car industry is undergoing, what's it up against, and how it's going to stage a bit of a comeback. I think that's what this is about. Before we get into that, make sure you subscribe. So I think over here, if you're watching this on the desktop, there's a logo. Hover over that and click subscribe, or elsewhere, just click subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell, so that you get all the updates and all the notifications of the latest videos that I'm uploading, and I'll continue to try and upload as many videos as possible during this lockdown period that we're all undergoing. Was I reading somewhere? I think it was between a quarter and a third of the world's population is in lockdown right now. Make sure you follow me on all the social media channels as well. Just search for hashtag Brown Car Guy, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course browncarguy.com. Anyway, so let's quickly just go through what's going on. Is financially, it's of course not good news for the car industry. Volkswagen apparently is losing $2.2 billion a week because of the shutdown. $2.2 billion a week is what Volkswagen, would be one of Europe's biggest car makers, is actually losing. Production, of course, is pretty much stopped on both sides of the Atlantic and in Japan as well, as far as the car industry is concerned. And this has affected, obviously, the financial outlook, the economic outlook of the car industry, and that, of course, has resulted in, the downgrading of their credit ratings and stuff like that. So the S&P, for example, on Wednesday downgraded Ford's credit rating to junk. Other manufacturers that have been downgraded include BMW, Toyota, Nissan, Honda. And meanwhile, General Motors, Daimler-Benz, that is, Jaguar Land Rover, PSA Group, Renault, Volkswagen, Volvo, McLaren have all been put under review. So they haven't yet been downgraded, but they've all been put under review. Basically, this is all happening, because of the severe pressure that these companies are under. And Moody's, that financial organization, has indicated that demand for cars would drop, in inverted commas, meaningfully over the coming months in Europe and in North America. And it suggests that demand will shrink by 14% in 2020 and drop by a third actually in the second quarter of this year. So that's basically now, which is no surprise since most of the world is in lockdown. That makes perfect sense, really. How is that affecting, what's happening here in the UK? Well, the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders, SMMT, they put out a press release and they reckon that car production will drop by 18% this year. This is in the UK. February was actually surprisingly robust. It only dropped by 1% car production. However, commercial vehicle production dropped by 13.6% in February, mostly due to a lack of demand from Europe at the time. That 1% drop that we saw in passenger car production in February was due to reduced exports to US and Asia. The SMMT reckons that there will be 200,000 less units produced this year. I think we produced like well over 1 million in the UK. It reckons that things would be, if this shut down, they reckon if it lasts a few weeks, we can kind of make a comeback, but if it lasts more than that, then it's predicting even more dire percentage drop in output in the UK. But there is some hope because, of course, we're seeing in China that it's slowly emerging from its shutdown and actually restarting production in many of its arenas, including, of course, the car industry. And they, of course, have had no new cases of a coronavirus in China. All the cases that they are now recording are actually people coming in from outside of China, and I think yesterday it was announced that they've actually shut the borders to non-Chinese nationals, apart from like important people and officials and stuff like that, or people involved in the fight against coronavirus. So they're restricting that, but it's good signs that they've restarted. I mean, production. This is the world's second largest economy, and car production has restarted. So just to reel them off: BMW, Daimler, Fiat, Chrysler, Ford, Honda, Nissan, SAIC, which is a Chinese company, Tesla, Toyota, Volkswagen, and Volvo have all restarted production. And here's the really good news: PSA Group, which has a joint venture factory with Dongfeng Motor, which is a Chinese company, in Wuhan city itself, which of course was the epicenter of where this virus began, that has also restarted production. So that's actually really good news as people start to re-emerge again in Wuhan city and are allowed to go around their normal business. Apparently they're not allowed to move between cities yet, but they are allowed to come out and do what they need to do. Italy, of course, which is probably the worst hit country in Europe as far as COVID-19 goes, there's some ray of hope there, because Ferrari just put out a press release saying that they hope to resume production on 14th of April. That's of course subject to the supply chain. Of course, that's what the supply chain, which is of course what stumped most manufacturers, because they just run out of parts and because of the assembly line process. As I mentioned in my previous video, #BCG Daily, you can't just carry on producing cars. If you're missing one part, the entire production line has to be stopped. Volkswagen also reckons that the German market will stage a recovery in the summer. So there's optimism from Volkswagen. Volkswagen brand sales and marketing chief Jürgen Stackmann reckon that, let me just quote him. He said, "The standstill cannot last longer than summer. Society and the economy cannot withstand that. We must learn how to live with the virus." So interestingly, he's talking about the fact that he says that he does not expect COVID-19 to completely be eradicated or disappeared, if you like, but that we will adapt to living with it. So that means social distancing and stuff like that will, of course, have to continue. And as such, Volkswagen even actually came out with a slight variation in its logo where they've separated the V and the W to indicate social distancing, and Audi followed suit with a similar change to its, they separated out their famous 4 rings in their famous logo. Now, of course, we mentioned previously that some manufacturers are actively involved in the fight against the virus. So we have companies like McLaren Automotive, Nissan, and some Formula One teams that are involved in producing medical ventilators, which is, of course, what hospitals need the most in tackling people that are seriously afflicted with this virus. I hasten to add that most people get mild symptoms, but there is that that small percentage that do get quite serious and they have to go into intensive care. Meanwhile, Fiat Chrysler, of course, as I mentioned, is producing additional face masks in Asia. But right here in the UK, a press release I think was issued yesterday from MG Motor UK, and this is very, very noble. MG Motor UK and its dealer network has announced that they are supplying 100 MGZS EVs, that's electric vehicles, to NHS agencies across the UK for use by our NHS heroes, in inverted commas, that's what they say. The cars will be supplied via the dealer network for up to 6 months, completely free of charge. The first 6 cars have already been delivered to Lancashire and South Cumbria NHS Trust by MG dealer Chorley Group. That's fantastic. We want to see more of that from the car industry as we all gear up to sit this out and to beat this thing. And wishing all the best also to Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who just declared today being, what's the date today? It is, of course, 27th of March. I'm saying this at about 1:50 p.m. when I'm recording this. And it's been announced that he too has been tested positive for the virus. So, fingers crossed for him. And all the best to you guys. Stay safe out there. Look after yourselves. Practice social distancing. Do not go out unless you absolutely have to. Stay at home. Stay safe. Protect the NHS. Save lives. Keep following me. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me on all the social media channels. And I hope to see you again soon. Look after yourselves.